Hi guys, Andrea Mills here. We're at the beginning of a brand new year that seems so open and full of possibilities. And I know for me, this is the time of the year, well, one of the times of the year that I start thinking about new things that I want to do, about new goals that I have for the coming year. And I just want to spend a couple minutes just talking about that a little bit. So the first thing I want to share with you is that I try to give up unworthy goals. And to me, how I determine if I feel a goal is worthy or not for me is that I try to think about when I'm an 80-year-old woman, which is going to happen someday, and I look back on my life, is that something that's still going to matter to me? Is it something that is still going to have value at that point? And I know a lot of the most common New Year's resolutions are just not that important. Not that that can't be a goal, some of these lesser important things, but if I'm going to spend my time really pouring myself into something, I want it to be something that's really valuable to me and that I really care about. And I guess that's my encouragement to you, is to not think about the judgment that you get from other people or about what someone else values, but think about your own heart, what you actually value, what you're going to be proud of when you're 80. And don't spend your time and your emotional energy working towards something that you really, in your heart of hearts, don't care about. The second thing I've tried to incorporate into my life is to focus less on the outcome and more on the process. So if I'm going to set a goal, I don't want to set a perfectionistic goal that says I need to do X or I need to accomplish X. I want to set more of a goal about the process, that I want to do this more frequently. I want to add this activity into my day. One of the things that I have been wanting to make part of my New Year's routines, not resolutions, but my New Year's routine is spending more time reading aloud to my kids and spending more time rocking my little ones, because it's so easy to get so busy during the day and realize that I didn't just sit down with them and spend some quiet time with them like that. We're just always working, stuff's always just going on. And so now that I'm saying this to you, I see, well, I could sit and rock my little one while I read to the older kids. So maybe that's something that I'm going to incorporate into my daily routine. So this is how I think, is not worrying about, not resolving to do something, but figuring out how to routinely make it part of my day. And also, a lot of things are seasonal. So maybe for the winter, we'll do something, and maybe that's going to change completely in the summer. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be routine all year. It can be routine for the parts that it makes sense for us, which comes to my third part of making adjustments. That I think a lot of times when we make a resolution, we feel trapped or we feel forced, like we resolved to do this. One year I resolved to make a scrapbook page every single day because I really like scrapbooking, and I kind of got away from it. And so every day I wanted to make a scrapbook page. I actually accomplished it, but it didn't have the joy by the end of the year that I thought it was going to, because it started to feel like a burden, not something that I was really joyful about. And so then, have I made any scrapbook pages since then? Not really. So adjusting the attitude and letting things, if I get going along and realize, you know what, this just says I'm fit, or this is not something I actually care about as much as I thought I did, or this isn't the season for that, then I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to adjust what I'm doing and move along without feeling any sort of guilt or judgment about changing my mind. The last thing I want to share is about recording my progress. I'm going to say that I just really don't do that. I know for some people, especially if you have kind of a competitive nature, it can feel really great to mark down the things that you did, like I've accomplished this and this, mark off the list kind of a thing. And that's totally fine if that fits your personality. When I do that, I start feeling pressure rather than joy. And so one of the things that I have done instead is just to maybe spend a few minutes thinking about some of the changes that I feel like are going to be coming up in the new year, how I could incorporate some new routines. And I kind of spend some time just writing these things down, and then I don't ever look at it again for the rest of the year. I just leave it aside, and then at the end of the year, I look at it and I think, oh, look at how much progress I made toward my goals without realizing it. If you think like me, it might be beneficial to you to forget about keeping records and just learn to enjoy the process and accept whatever progress or lack thereof that you made, and just find joy in living today and working, but not necessarily being results oriented. So I encourage you guys to think this year about setting up some New Year's routines rather than New Year's resolutions, and then enjoy 2017. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to just mention a few things for your benefit, which is that Tom and I have 8 children. We live in a small house. We homeschool. We have a home business that we support ourselves on. I make videos on homeschool topics, on unassisted birth topics, organizing, on our Christian faith, and I'm not sure what else, lots of other things. So if you're new to my channel, I hope you'll subscribe, and we'll be talking to all of you again very soon.